Now let's see how we can design the wireframe using the predefined template provided by Figma, or either you can use the whiteboard or even add more to what is already there. So for example, you're designing a website. This is how the template looks like. But for example, I want my own design. So I'll just start in this whiteboard section, give it a base color if I want it white, or probably I want some other light shade. I can add text over here if I want to give it a heading. Say for example, e-commerce website for skincare. And for say example, I want to add some widgets. So there are a lot of widgets or plugins or templates or stickers that you can use that is available over here. You can also add your own icons or widgets if you wish to. So there is a lot of design features that are available to design your wireframe. So for example, let's take one widget, which is a pie chart. So for example, I want to add this. So you see, I've added the pie chart, and there are two options. Either you can place it at the back and then group it, or you can place it at front, and obviously I want it at the front, so I've put it at the front so that it's visible. Now I can add my data. So there are two ways. So for wireframe, you can just give dummy data, but when you integrate it with your code, it is very easy. At runtime, you can pull this data and show the pie chart. So it's in case of a kind of data analysis you want to show to your sellers. Maybe there are multiple sellers and you want to compare their prices and show it in the form of a pie chart. You can use this feature, and there are so many other ways that you can do it. So let me just give it some random numbers and see how the pie chart changes based on that. So you can see the changes. I've given the green portion 70%, and accordingly it's changing. So right now it's just a dummy data, but when we implement the code, we will pull the data from some other resource which is based on the data analysis for real-time market. And if you're just starting out and learning Figma, this will give you a good crash course. There are two ways where you can start building your wireframe from scratch. So either you can browse through the community. So as you can see on the screen, this is the community, and these are the some of the wireframes that have been created. I just picked one of them. So in case you're building an app and you want to create a sign-in page, probably you can just pick this up because someone has created it, and just tweak a little as per your requirements. So maybe change the color scheme or look and feel a little bit, but the basic wireframe can still remain the same. So let's quickly have a look of what they have created. This is the basic wireframe. So if you can click on that, and then you see this is the page that looks like. So if someone wants a splash screen, so this is kind of a splash screen, then this is the login screen that will appear. You can create a logo, and this is all that appears on a very basic login. Let's take a quick look on how this appears, and then we'll dive into how to create it from scratch. So this is the basic login screen frame. If I click on this, I've just highlighted the whole. If you can see, it shows all the layers. Now we'll browse through all the layers, how to create those frames, how to create those layers in Figma, or how to bifurcate your frame or layers in a way where it is a reusable component, and you can also exactly copy the same features if you want at some other place. Like if you want a button feature to be same, you can create it as a component so that whenever you're creating a button throughout your website or your app, it looks exactly the same. So let me just give you a quick overview of how you can create it. Now this is a blank screen where we can get started and create a wireframe for ourselves. if you click on this, that is the menu of Figma. So let's quickly take a look on what is there on the menu and see how we can use it. The very first thing is either you create a frame or you create a section or a slice. So we'll start with creating a frame, and probably once we have done that, we can use these rectangle, other things that you can create as these components, or maybe import a picture or a video from your local drive or from other places. This is a component where you can use your drawing board. So probably if you are using a tab, then it gives you more it is more easier to draw on a tab rather than doing it on a laptop. Probably because you have a pen and you can use it easily to get the drawing. This is for the text, and this is some component where you can either take some component from the inbuilt libraries that are there, or you can have some plugins which we will discuss at length later, or the existing widgets that are already there. So this is this comes from the community of Figma, and it comes very handy when you're designing a lot of features of your app. This is a hand to move, so once your design is ready, you can move it, or probably just move it around here, which I'll show you later. You can add your comments. So probably if you're working as a remote team, or you want to share your design with your team and you want their feedback on that, so probably you can just add a comment or share it with your team and they can add their comments over here. Then after this main panel, let's just quickly click on frame, and we see on the right hand side panel there's one design and prototype. So we'll just for now stick to design and see. It gives me so many options. So these are the inbuilt frame that comes in, that supports iPhone 14 and other versions of the iPhone. And if you want an Android small phone, then it will give you that size. If you want an Android large, it will give you accordingly. You can create it for the tablet, you can create it for desktop, you can create a presentation, you can also create other for a simple sheet, for social media, or for adding it to the Figma community. So these are the all options that we have for the frame. So let's take a very simple iPhone. So you see this size that comes in for the iPhone 14, it's already given me. And on the left hand side now, once I add any frame, this left hand side pane, you see this is the symbol for any frame. So whenever you see this, means this is a frame. Now I can first of all rename it. So for example, I'm creating an app for e-commerce sellers. So I'll just name it so that I know that this main frame that I've created for the app, this is the name. Now this is a placeholder, and I can add more to it by creating maybe just a header, a simple header, which will contain, again, might be in the left I can create a logo. So keep a place for that logo. But before I proceed, let's see what all I can do with this rectangle that I've created. So I can give it a width of my wish, I can give it a height of my wish, and the most important part, if you want to make it design it in a way which is more responsive, or you don't want it to, as per the changes in different sizes of the phone, you don't want it the design to change every time. You may want to make it responsive, so you can keep the constraints accordingly, which probably in the later videos we'll go in depth on how to set it so that you don't have to reset it every time. Then these are the layers, which also I'll discuss in later videos, but for now, yes, this is one of the options that you can see. We want to pass through normal, darkened, or there are so many features, so you want to lighten it or keep it as an overlay, or what it is it. Then is the color option. So what is the color that you want? Although wireframe, the basic concept of wireframe is just creating an outline. So in the wireframe, we don't show what is the color scheme, what is the image that we are adding, or what is the exact look and feel. We only create an outline. That is the basic concept of wireframe. So what will come at what place in your website or your app, that is the basic concept of creating a wireframe. So you see, I have added a logo. So whenever I add a picture, I can add the logo over here and just create few lines out here in the app, which will show that when I browse. So normally when we browse, we see on the right hand side panel that we have and as I copy these lines so that they are of the same size when they appear on the app on the right hand side, when we can as a user click to sign in or to see other features that the app provides. While I'm designing, you can see it gives me the exact size of width that comes in between the three lines so that it's symmetrical, and as I stretch, it keeps showing me whether the size the distance between the three lines is equal or not. So it's very easy to design in Figma because of that. And so this is how we create a basic header. And now, because it's a single component, I want the same header to be there on all the pages of the app. I'll just create a group out of it and then probably create it as a component so that I can just add that component on every single page that we are going to do. But we'll discuss how to create a component in later videos. But for now, just to create a group, just let me also quickly show you. So for example, I have a section that is, this is a placeholder and it will show all the details of a user who is logged in. So this will be the username of the person who has logged in. And we can add the image of the user over here. So whenever someone logs in, he will see the header. This is the image, this is the username and the details of the user. And similarly, if I want to add more users on the same page, or if it's just a single user login per page, then I just keep this and add more details over here. It's just depends on what kind of a design you want to create. So you can see it is very easy in Figma to design. And if we take a closer look at the left hand side panel, this is the frame which will have all the components which I have created over here. If I expand it, it will give me what is the text. So if you see, the symbol changes. If it's eclipse, the symbol changes. And if we've created a group, it will create a group. I can give this group a name, although we'll create a component, but for now I'm giving it a name as header. So later on, I know that this is a group that I've created and this is a header. And if you scroll down, you can see that so if you expand this header, just expand the header and see that these are the components that we've added to this group of header, which we can reuse.
Hope you liked the video. If you do like it, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more of such exciting updates. And in case you are on the same journey of building an app, do share your success and failures and learning so that everybody around us who is also on the same journey can learn from our experiences. Until the next updates next week, keep building and dream big.